Welcome back, everybody, to episode 2 of the Talk Ball Tweakers podcast.
We have a name.
We finally have a name. We are so excited to start this podcast, this episode. I am Blake McCurry, obviously, with my co-hosts Toussaint Fancher and Jake Mazarski. Welcome back, man.
We're back.
We're back.
Episode
We're back,
2.
baby.
Let's go.
We're back, baby. And then we are so excited. Advances, obviously, with the podcast branding. We have a name, Talk Ball Tweakers. I hope you guys like it. Shout out to Leangelo Ball. That's a hit record right there.
Swerve in the corner.
Whoa, yeah. You feel me. And my dad actually sent me that song. He was in the car the other day, and it came on the radio, and he sent me it. So I think my dad was definitely swerving and bending that corner. Listening to Leangelo Ball. So shout out to Jello Ball.
You know what's crazy? That's probably what Kyron Lacey was listening to.
Honestly,
no, for real. Hey, did you see he had the fresh cut and everything with the mugshot?
That's like he had the fresh cut. Listening to the Leangelo.
He got faded up like 2 hours before he got arrested. Like, what was going on with that?
And he declared for the draft 2 days after it happened and
like,
stuff. It was just business as usual.
I swear, like
it was crazy.
I would have thought he was at Georgia the way he was acting.
No, that
you would have thought he was at Georgia.
He was a Georgia Bulldog. Kirby Smart would have had anything to say about that. Absolutely not. That was wild. But yes, we are back. We actually also have a logo finally.
I'll pop it in the video.
Yep. Pop that in the video because we do have a logo, and I worked hours on hours getting that done, figuring out what to use. So I hope you guys like that as well. But yeah, let's talk ball, man.
Let's get into it.
Let's talk ball.
Let's do it.
We got college football first. Reactions to the semifinal round.
Yeah, let's talk some college football first because it was a really good semifinal round. Yeah.
Let's start with Penn State Notre Dame first.
Yeah, so Capital One Orange Bowl last Thursday. So we didn't talk preview of that because we were still getting our bearings under. But now that we have a name, we're ready. I mean, you got to start with this Notre Dame defense, man. They've been one of the best in the country. For the entire year, they're second in the country in points per game allowed, only behind Ohio State, who they're playing, so we'll get into that in a second. There are stars up and down, Xavier Watts, Drake Bowen, on and on and on, and then you see, like, Marcus Freeman was a D coordinator at Notre Dame. And I posted this on my Twitter. Have you guys seen the video of Notre Dame football finding out Marcus Freeman was our next head coach?
Yes.
It is so fire.
It's an absolutely great video.
Great video. It means so much more now that he got them there.
Oh, yeah.
And bro, this team, they're real. I mean, I'm stating the obvious and stuff. They've had a hard road. Penn State's a good team. Georgia's a good team. It doesn't matter that they were without Carson Beck. And their defense makes play after play after play. They're real, bro.
Oh, yeah, for sure. 100%.
No, they're a good team. The funny thing about them is that, like, everyone was going off about them, talking about how they they're not in a conference and that is unfair and this, that, and the other thing. It's kind of weird because I feel like it's the exact opposite. I feel like because you have no conference, it's like a little harder. Now, they didn't have to go through like Big Ten or SEC or anything like that.
But they still have to play those opponents.
They still have to play. I mean, it's not like let's be honest. The people who are hating like Alabama and Ole Miss, they lost to teams they shouldn't have lost to. Yep. You know what I mean? So you got people talking who shouldn't be talking, right? And then you got people who are out here yapping, talking about, I heard Cam Newton, I love Cam Newton. Shout out to Cam Newton. He was talking about they should be in a conference and they shouldn't be like rewarded with this, which makes no sense. I mean, they are the 5th team in the country. They're 14-1. They just beat Penn State. They got it. Their quarterback is not that bad. Like Riley
Leonard's good. Riley Leonard's been good his entire career. He has over 800 yards on the ground, bro.
He's nice, dude.
No, he's
fearless.
An underrated runner.
He's fearless.
Also, like, bro, Notre Dame wants to smoke. If anybody says that they're ducking, let me read their schedule for next year.
They're not.
At Miami, versus Texas A&M, Purdue. Fine, Purdue sucks, but Zach Edey will get fouled somehow. At Arkansas, versus Boise State, versus USC. Bro, they want all the smoke. Over and over and over again.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Thank you. Me and Zach Edey have a rivalry. He knows what he's talking about.
That was hilarious.
He knows. But yeah, bro.
Absolutely.
They're real. And they deserve to be here. They deserve to be here more than most teams. I'll say that.
That whole, like, strength of schedule, that's such bullshit to me, honestly.
I mean, it makes sense, but also
it makes sense. But it's like, okay, but a good team's a good team. Yeah. A great team's a great team. No matter who you play, like all the strength of schedule does is it prepares you. Right. That's it. Like it prepares you. A great team is a great team. They're going to beat who they beat. Like that's just how it is.
I also think like everybody wrote off Notre Dame after they lost to NIU at home.
Oh yeah, I wrote them off.
You wrote them
I
off.
was done.
I'm sure a lot of people
I was
did
done.
and stuff. They needed to run the table to make the playoff because 2 losses when you're not in the conference, you're not beating that narrative.
Oh yeah.
And then they ran the table. They not only ran the table,
So
they smashed the table.
Smashed.
They didn't have a single 1-possession game.
They
Looking at their
smashed.
schedule. Bro, did they? Oh, actually, they had Louisville, who, by the way, was
Louisville.
ranked. That was the 1-possession game. Besides that, killed Army, killed USC, killed Navy, killed Virginia, killed Florida State, killed Stanford, killed Miami, killed Purdue, killed Georgia Tech, who Georgia Tech almost beat Georgia in Georgia.
Yeah.
I just feel like also people whine about college football so much with strength of schedule.
Yeah.
There's going to be a good team. There's always every year. There's at least like maybe 2 or 3 good teams. They either get into the playoffs or they go far and they're in a high bowl game because their strength of schedule isn't as high as everyone else's. You're going to get that. You can't complain about a team not having a strength. There's always going to be 1 or 2 teams that excel and deserve to be where they are and are really good, but also may have a weaker schedule. Doesn't mean that they're bad. It just means that who they are playing isn't as good. And let's be honest. I mean, like I said, Alabama should have been in the college football playoffs, but they lost to Vanderbilt away.
Don't lose those games.
They lost to Oklahoma, who was bad, who was trash.
Both teams went 6-6 and stuff.
Ole Miss, they lost to a bunch of teams. They lost to 3 teams they should not have.
Exactly.
They lost to LSU on the road. They lost to Florida. They lost to teams with more losses than them. Like, that's why you're not in. And then they go on Twitter and they're just like, should be us. No, it shouldn't. Take care of business, then talk.
Exactly.
And that's the thing I hate about it is like that goes into like conference bias with people like the SEC is so much harder. It's like you can't be an SEC team, argue you want to be in the playoffs, and have 3 losses, and 2 of them are the teams who are unranked.
I know.
If you're in the SEC and you're saying that it's the greatest conference, win the games you're supposed to win.
You're losing to Vanderbilt.
Yeah, dude.
That's crazy.
Come on.
Also,
and Oklahoma, they lost to Oklahoma by like 21,
24-3 or something.
Yeah, they lost by 21. And Oklahoma they've been going between 2 quarterbacks the entire season.
Yeah, hey, their quarterback Jackson Arnold is going to be the starter of Auburn. He's gone, so he gets another chance at Alabama next year.
Oh yeah.
Dude, it's just like the narrative's crazy, and you could go all the way back to the quarters where SMU, or not quarters, round of 12, whatever you would call it. SMU got killed by Penn State in Happy Valley. Bama went into Happy Valley. Guarantee you the score is pretty similar.
They lost to Michigan.
Yeah.
Bama lost to Michigan in the bowl game.
Take care of business.
No, Bama was yapping, and then all of a sudden they go to play Michigan, and they have all their stars and don't show up.
They were talking so bold.
Bro.
We're going to smoke them. Payback from last year, blah, blah, blah.
And it was the people in the media.
Michigan owns Alabama right now.
Paul Feinbaum was the biggest Alabama pusher. And then he came on the day after they lost and said, oh, my bad. I probably shouldn't have pushed them. No, they lost 2 games they shouldn't have.
I'm so sick and tired of it.
And trying to promote.
How many chances are they going to get? How many chances is SEC going to get before you're just like,
I know.
And
how many chances?
Trying to promote a team into the college football playoffs just based off the fact that they are a prestigious school or a prestigious football team, a program doesn't fly. You can't get in just because you're Alabama. What, the team that went 15-1? You're telling me Indiana didn't deserve it over Alabama? Alabama, if you're a prestigious program, win the games you're supposed to win.
Exactly.
Win the games you're supposed to win, and we won't have this conversation. Exactly. If Alabama is 15-1 and Indiana is 15 or whatever it is, however many games they play, like 12-1, whatever it is. If they're both 1 loss, you're putting Alabama over Indiana.
Exactly.
If you lose 2 games that you're not supposed to lose, you can't go in. I don't care who you are.
No, straight.
It's ridiculous.
And it's the same with Texas. Like Texas, they were the 5 seed. They didn't have that many quality wins this season. Both their losses were to Georgia, and we'll talk about Texas for a second. A lot of teams don't have quality wins.
And they look flustered in those games. They were flustered.
Yeah.
Arch Manning and Ewers were staring up at the Jumbotron. They had no idea what was going on.
Before we get into that game, any thoughts on Penn State and Drew Aller?
Trash. James Franklin, trash. Drew Aller, trash. James Franklin, he's the Mike Tomlin of college football. He's the Mike Tomlin. He always keeps his job. He doesn't win the big games. And year after year, we all know we expect them to lose against the better team when it's time to get down to it. They could have won that game. It wasn't out of the reach.
They should have won that game.
They were up 24-17.
They should have won that game. 100% should have won that game.
They were up 24-17. They were up 7-0. They had their chances in that game. James Franklin also little brothered the crap out of Marcus Freeman.
Oh my gosh!
I know. And to go out and lose like
Marcus Freeman wasn't having it.
He was not having it.
Oh no!
I think this isn't disrespect to Marcus. Then why are you saying it and stuff?
Yeah,
to go out and do that. Penn State for years, 10-2, 10-2. They
I'm
can't
saying-
beat Ohio State. They can't beat Michigan.
Can't beat-
They finally get the easy road, and they
beat
still
the big
can't get there.
dogs.
They were
They
shitting
can't
all
beat
over.
the big dogs.
They were shitting all over their schedule, and I'm like, the man is sitting right next to you. You can't lose the game, and then you go in there and lose the game.
I know.
Bro.
Like once he said that, I was like, oh no, like
It's over.
James Strickland's talking a lot of shit right now for a guy who can't win the big games.
Really,
Like,
1-15 against top 5 schools
Yeah.
at Penn
Yeah.
State,
that's
a
nasty
prestigious
work. That's
program?
disgusting work.
Bro, you
That's
had the
bad.
best
That's
running back
disgusting
talent
work.
in college football in the past decade in Saquon Barkley.
disgusting
And
work.
you were up like 14 at Ohio State at the shoe, and you found a way to lose that game.
Their
disgusting.
dual running backs right now are really good.
Bro, Allen and Singleton are
That
like the
team's so
only pair in the
nice.
country that has over 1,000 yards each.
It's
And
ridiculous.
And then, like, speaking of Drew Aller, like,
Oh, he
look,
got in there and
he got-
shit his pants.
he was terrible.
That's an
gosh.
understatement.
And look,
Oh
he's
my
got the look
gosh.
of an NFL prospect, 6'5", has the arm, all that stuff. Doesn't matter if you can't ball.
That
No,
late
dude, I
pick
just don't
know
was
about him.
so
I don't know about
egregious.
him.
He's
He
gonna have to
literally
show
played
me
himself
next year.
out of the
He's gonna have
draft
to
with that
show me.
one.
Yeah.
He literally played himself out of the draft with that one pick.
Yep.
Like
Oh,
you have 52 seconds to
that was
go down and
the
kick a field
deciding
goal,
factor right
and
there.
you look.
He threw a duck.
No offense, he looked like Sam Darnold in the pocket.
Yeah, let's be for real.
He saw a
Sorry,
ghost
Jake.
and then fired
Sorry,
it to a
Jake.
man over the middle.
Sorry, Jake.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Jake.
I'm sorry,
I mean,
Jake.
yeah,
cool, it's
sorry,
cool, it's
Jake.
cool, it's
Yeah,
cool.
he did look like, yeah, that was nasty.
That was bad. As soon as he
It was
threw
a bad
that,
throw.
what's the one thing as a quarterback? You don't throw over the middle late, and he decided to do that.
That pick happened, and I said, yeah, Drew Aller, you are still a Penn
Bro,
State
against
Navy
that,
Lion next season.
against that
Like, you're
defense
not-
too,
no.
why are you making
You're not
that
going
throw?
to- you're
Notre
not going
Dame's
to
one of the
next
best
level.
pass defenses in the country. They're near the top in turnovers. Why are you throwing that ball?
I get that
No.
What do you gain?
with 52 seconds you don't run the ball, but like if I have the two best backs and I know that
You
I'm
don't throw
down
that
at my
ball, though. Like, he could have did something else with that.
He should have
man.
thrown. But
you
why you
can't
throwing it
throw
over
that
the
ball.
middle though?
Yeah,
Throw
that's
it
what
to
I'm
the
saying. They
outside.
can't throw that
Throw it to
ball
the
right there in that
outside.
situation.
Bro, you also have like decent wide receivers. Harrison Wallace is
Yeah.
fine.
You have
Omari
Ty-
Evans fine.
dude,
You have Tyler Warren.
Tyler Warren.
Yeah, give him the ball.
Like, come on.
Give him the ball. Do the direct snap. Get him the ball.
Yeah.
And
Maybe-
Notre
I don't
Dame's
know.
weakness is their rush defense. Just run the
Maybe-
ball. You had timeouts too.
You know, maybe Drew Aller was on that yacht.
Listen.
He
I
might have been on that yacht.
I didn't
Maybe
know
Drew Aller was on
Might
that
have been on that
yacht.
yacht.
I didn't even know who their offensive coordinator is. Andy Kotelnicki?
Yeah, Andy Kotelnicki.
Yeah. All right. Time to get a new OC.
Bro, because this wasn't
Moments.
this wasn't the only game where Penn State made a major mistake on offense. Look at their other two losses this year at Ohio State. Red zone pick.
Yeah.
First, Dave Snigominosin, by the way, made a great play. If you're listening to this, you're probably not because you're prepping for the Natty. But then also Ohio State had a goal line stand on that where Penn State tried running the ball 3 times and then has Aller throw, no protection. Then against Oregon, bro, Oregon's not that good of a defense. We saw that. Their offense is great. Oregon is one of the best teams in the country.
Yeah.
Penn State was trying to move the ball through them. They couldn't do garbage until it was 17-0. And then people are just like, oh, the game was close. Because you were passing the ball over and over again.
Drew Allen,
So,
welcome
yeah.
to grad transfer.
Yeah.
You're going to be a grad transfer.
Dude, I think they got to
100%.
take a long look in the mirror because, like, if this wasn't the year for Penn State to go to the Natty,
Oh,
good
they're
luck getting
cooked,
by
dude.
Ohio State, good
They're
luck getting by
cooked.
Oregon, good luck getting by Michigan when Bryce comes.
Oh, dude, it's gonna
like,
be nasty.
it's gonna be bad.
That's a talk for a
It's
different
gonna,
day.
it's gonna be
It's
bad.
gonna be nasty.
Yeah, should we go other game and stuff?
Yeah,
I
let's
feel like
go.
that's enough.
Let's go Ohio
We'll talk
State, Texas.
Yeah, let me start this one. Ohio State. Like, you could go back to my proof on Mazarski memos. I said Ohio State was the best team in the country in August. They have richest roster in the country.
Oh yeah,
Bunch
they
of
spent
transfers, right? They spent over $20 million.
Spent
Caleb
dirty
Downs,
money on that roster.
Will Howard, Quinshon Judkins. You get returners in Trevion Henderson, JD Tuamola.
As a
Jack
Michigan
Sawyer.
fan, I gotta say you paid for your championship.
Oh,
100%.
Yeah,
I mean that's
Kinda
what
paid for
it's come to now.
That's how
It
it
is.
is.
It is.
To be fair,
I mean,
to them-
Michigan's giving an
to be fair to
18-year-old
them-
$10 million now.
That's
to be
true.
fair to them,
That's
like,
very
like,
true.
Yeah, that's what comes with the game now.
Did anybody doubt that Ohio
Ridiculous.
State was going to be here after
I
they
did.
beat Michigan? And that's fair.
I didn't. I knew they were gonna find some kind of level to
I
go
did doubt.
beyond it.
I did doubt.
I've
doubted.
been saying, and I probably said it to you guys, and I definitely said it on someone. Them losing to Michigan is exactly what they needed.
No, it's one. No, like
I understand. That.
Ohio State needs to be thanking Michigan right now, 100%.
Yeah.
They owe that whole run to Michigan. They owe this whole run to Michigan
entire
right now.
thing because
100%.
if they don't get
I
that
don't care
punch
what
in the
anybody
gut,
says.
there's
I don't
no
care.
way. And like, I know this is like treading on the rivalry. Some people might think differently. Y'all definitely think differently. They'll lose to Michigan if it meant winning the Natty. Is that fair?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like,
Like-
at the start of the year, if you told an Ohio State fan, would you rather beat Michigan and not win the Natty, or lose to Michigan and win the Natty?
Well,
what do you think?
if you ask a delusional Ohio State fan, they're gonna say beat Michigan.
Yeah.
If you ask a real Ohio State fan, they're
someone
gonna
that
say the
knows
Natty.
ball, a
I was
talk
about
ball
to say,
person.
yeah. A talk baller.
Yeah.
A talk baller is gonna say They want to win it. They want to win
Facts.
it.
And I feel like
A tweaker's gonna say they want to.
Tweaker.
Gonna say they want to.
They got a lot of
Michigan.
tweakers. Hey, they got a lot of tweakers.
They got a lot of
tweakers.
tweakers.
We need to beat Michigan.
They do. My goodness, watching that game, watching that game,
Yeah.
in that Ohio State bar at Old Crow. My gosh.
Oh my god. Yeah, and speaking
My
of that game,
goodness.
man,
That was painful.
That's
And I was throwing horns up. I didn't care. I didn't give a fuck.
right? Did Ohio State win that game or did Texas lose it?
Texas lost it 100%.
Well,
I'm
about to say Ohio State.
That.
I think Ohio
State. I'm going to recant that.
The thing that impressed me was that they kind of bullied
I'm being a Michigan
Texas.
guy right now.
And Texas has got some
guy right now.
dogs. Texas has got some big boys
Bro, on
team.
both sides, they have guys. Yeah,
I think Texas actually got lucky by not getting smoked.
I agree. I fully
They got
agree.
lucky by not getting
Bro,
smoked.
Ohio State.
And the big turning point was that touchdown right before halftime.
Touchdown
That
right before Travion Henderson.
You
Third
can't let
straight
that happen right there in that situation.
Right? Third straight game with Travion Henderson scoring a touchdown over 40 yards. He's been absolutely ridiculous. I think Ohio State made the just amount of right plays to win. Texas has a little momentum.
You score with a little over a minute left in the first half, and you get ball to return the second half, and you let that touchdown go like that. That can't happen.
Yeah,
that was literally the turning point right there.
Right.
Especially on a run play. It's one thing if Jeremiah Smith.
I think it was a screen play. It was a screen pass. Yeah.
It was a screen pass. Because I looked up and I remember there was no safety. It was like they were playing cover 2 on a screen.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I was like, so if he's gonna hike the ball, you would think that we're gonna have some safeties over the top.
Right.
No. Let's play cover 0 on a screen pass.
I know, and that's a game. It's my guy against your guy. It's the 2 best rosters in the country, arguably. Why are you doing that? Why you have nothing to gain if you're Texas? Sit back, even if Ohio State gets a field goal.
Yeah, that's acceptable.
But why are they doing that? It makes no sense.
And then also I want to ask about the late end of the game call right there on second down, that halfback toss.
Oh yeah,
you guys think that was the right call?
No, of course not. Of course not. You're playing Ohio State, who has one of the best pressure rates in the country.
Yeah.
Since losing
No,
Oregon.
they ran right through that offensive line.
Yeah.
That's the best. That's the best goal line defense right there. And
you have an All-American linebacker there and 3 safeties who are all over 6'4", except I guess Caleb Downs is 6'2", but Caleb Downs.
Yeah, but he's the nasty.
Bro, they're dogs, and they all met him.
You know what I realized though?
Yeah.
Caleb Downs made a fucking play on that. Oh my god!
You know what I think
made
though?
A play too.
And people have been pointing this out prior to this game. Texas, and I think Sark realized it. Quinn Ewers, no offense, he's not as special as he was always projected to be.
System quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. And so I think what people did
that.
was that they realized. I think Sark realized that Quinn Ewers can't quite. He's not as athletic, and his playmaking isn't as big as he thought it was. So what he did basically was limit him. If you watched it, most of the games leading up to this, run. Quick passes, screen plays. They've been limiting Quinn Ewers. You get to a game where you got to face the best team in the country. Your quarterback has to go out there and be electric. And Quinn Ewers, no offense, at this point he's a late second, early.
I think that's generous. I think he's a 4th rounder and stuff. Apparently, an offer came out on the table that Quinn Ewers he declined an $8 million NIL deal to go to the draft, an $8 million deal to transfer. If I had to guess, the school was
it was a Big Ten school. They said.
Oh, it was.
Yeah,
so it was probably it might have been Michigan. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know where else he'd go. But regardless,
USC, I heard it was
maybe
it could have been USC. I was hearing it was either Michigan State or.
Michigan State would be valid, but that's
or somebody else. I don't know.
He's not going to Michigan State.
It's just
I think I was hearing it was Michigan State,
which is crazy because Aiden Childs said bet the over, and then they went under in 9 games this year.
Yeah, he threw 3 picks in that game.
He's gross. So bad. But speaking of Quinn Ewers for a second, in every game Texas lost, he threw picks. Right, he threw 2 against Georgia the first time, or 3 against Georgia the first time.
Oh my gosh,
2 in the SEC championship. Dude. I don't know how many he had against Ohio State, but he had at least 1.
He had one.
But it just limits you, and you have all these studs. Gunnar Helm was the most targeted tight end in the country. Isaiah Bond, Matthew Golden. Yeah. You have Quintravion Wisener and Jaden Blue. Quinn Ewers was holding them back. It was the same thing with Ohio State when they lost to Michigan. Ohio State's loss to Michigan was not because of Quinshon Judkins, Trevion Henderson, Jeremiah Smith. It was because Will Howard couldn't get them the football.
Yeah.
And against good defenses, you got to play well. And they don't.
Their play calling was a little wacky, though.
Oh, it was. We were talking about Ohio State.
They tried to outman
and now look
Michigan
at their play. And now look at their play calling, right?
Exactly. Thank us.
Because they tried to outman. They tried to
once again, thank Michigan.
Yeah.
Thank Michigan.
The last thing I'll say about this game, and I think you guys agree with me, even though you are Michigan people, Ohio State wasn't the 8th best team in the country, even when they lost to Michigan. The fact that they went down to the 8th seed, I get it, it's the format, and I could go off about the format. They are not. They were never.
It was just the expectation. People thought that this was going to be the year, and then they got dog. Well, they didn't. They got manhandled.
Yeah, they got manhandled. Michigan bullied them.
Yeah,
Michigan bullied them, and you saw them
100%.
cry. You saw them cry.
Yeah. Saw them cry right after the game.
And then Jack Sawyer, props to him making that play. You saw him cry and going.
Of course, it's Jack Sawyer that makes that play too.
Of course,
it is.
But that Ewers fumble had me. Oh my goodness, that's the one thing you can't do,
dude.
That's the one thing you can't do is fumble or throw an interception.
I mean, it's a credit to him. He tried to take a shot, like right there.
Also, Texas.
You getting rushed. You got to do something. Right. I mean, there wasn't much else he could do right there in that situation.
Texas won the Joe Moore Award this year for the best line in the country. Why are you doing a halfback toss? Trust your line that's healthy.
It looked like the Bears. It looked like the Bears against Indy.
It literally looked like the Bears against Indy.
Oh my gosh, dude, that was a terrible.
Let's
Hector.
2025 offensive coordinators stop tossing the ball when it's like 3rd and 1 and you have a really good.
They also toss it short side. They always toss it short side. It makes no sense because then there's no space.
Stop tossing the ball 5 yards to pick up 1 yard.
Yeah,
stop.
I agree. And before we do this Natty preview, I think the one thing we could all say about Texas, they're going to enter as the #1 team in the country next year, probably with Arch.
Texas
with Arch. They might not.
They'll be top 3.
I think those. I think if Ohio State wins this game, they'll still. I think Ohio State will.
So
who's the quarterback next year? Though?
Who? Ohio State?
Julian Sayin.
He's gross.
It's pretty nice.
But yeah, I mean, like Texas season's over. Sucks. Like, you'll be back. That's the playoff format. But
so
when we get to the Natty
predictions. Do just quick predictions.
Yeah, let's do Natty predictions and stuff. I'll go last because I could talk anybody's head off about this stuff. So I'll let you guys go first.
Do something. You got it.
We hate Ohio State over here on this side.
You know that. You know that. Go blue, baby.
Yeah, I feel like Ohio State's going to win this. I just feel like Notre Dame has a good offense. Ohio State has a great offense and great defense. That's the difference for me. Notre Dame also doesn't their wide receiver core isn't as good. It isn't even nearly what Ohio State's is. And I think Ohio State's really going to throw the ball. I think whoever the offensive coordinator is going to put on a clinic in this.
Chip Kelly.
Yeah, Chip Kelly. That's right, Chip Kelly. Boo, I hate Chip Kelly. For what he did to the Eagles, I hate Chip Kelly.
Fair.
But I think that he's the play calling is going to be elite in this game, and I think they're going to get it done. I hope Notre Dame wins. Come on, Marcus Freeman. I think Ohio State's going to win it, though.
You want to give us a score? Or
Yeah, let me think. I think
line is Ohio State -8.
Yeah.
It's going to be farther than that, in my opinion, because what they did to Texas was nasty. Yeah. I think it's going to be third. I think. I want to say 30-21.
Yeah.
Okay. Solid. Now, I'm a Michigan man at heart, baby.
Yeah.
I'm a Michigan man at heart, like I am.
Yeah.
That wouldn't pump me up, dog. I'm not gonna lie.
Michigan fans have that.
I haven't had faith in Ohio State all year.
Yeah.
I haven't had faith in Ohio State all year, but them Buckeyes are rolling, baby. I can't lie. Them Buckeyes are rolling. Jack Sawyer's on one. Will Howard, man, does he look good? Jeremiah Smith's a man amongst boys out there. That's a 18-year-old out there, just
19, same shit.
19, something like that. He's a man against boys. They got it rolling. Ryan Day's finally woken up. They're following Jesus.
No, Ryan Day's.
They've got faith.
Ryan Day's asleep. That whole team is carrying.
That defense is looking nice. Caleb Downs is out for vengeance. I don't really do this too often. I'm not a Buckeye. I hate him. I have never picked him.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though. That OH, put that shit down. Notre Dame's gonna win this game. Riley Leonard is a nasty, mean son of a gun. Oh, Marcus Freeman, he's nasty too. Don't doubt him.
Bro, you took my
That defense is something special. Give me Notre Dame, baby. I'm not. Come on. You think I'm gonna pick a Buckeye? You think I'm gonna? Come on now. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Give me the Fighting Irish. Give me the Fighting Irish.
I will. Wait, give me your score first. Then I'll go
Score prediction?
Yeah.
I'll go Notre Dame. I'll go Notre Dame 28. Ohio State 24. I think it's gonna be a close one.
I feel like if you're going Notre Dame, it's got to be close.
It's gonna be a close one.
I'll show the Irish a little love here, right? Everybody's talking about Ohio State, but Notre Dame's right there with them. Ohio State has the number 1 defense in the country, yards per game, points per game. Notre Dame's number 2. Ohio State has 2 really good running backs in Judkins and Henderson. Notre Dame has 2 arguably better ones in Love and Price. And you got Riley Leonard. 2 transfer quarterbacks. One is going out into the sunset. One of them falls up just short. Ohio State's difference maker is Jeremiah Smith. Everybody will use the common opponent in Indiana, say Ohio State started slow, Notre Dame started fast. Notre Dame is a really good football team. They can beat Ohio State. I think out of any team in the field, they had the best chance to beat Ohio State. And this is coming from someone that picked Oregon, by the way, to beat them. So I'll eat my words on that. Ohio State 28, Notre Dame 17. Ohio State is going to make the plays necessary. Notre Dame's one of the best defenses. Ohio State's the one better. Ohio State's going to make the plays. They got the superstars. If this was not the year for Ohio State, there will be no year. And this is it. And they're playing their best football now. So are the Irish, but even the Irish, they're not moving the ball so well, even against Penn State.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the wide receiver play isn't as great.
It's not as good. And Ohio State's biggest weakness is their corners, too. Denzel Burke and Davison Igbinosa, and they're both fine. They're not incredible, but Notre Dame doesn't have the wide receivers. And they don't throw jump balls. So, like, you're not going to get flags and stuff. They're going to try to pound the ball. So, good luck for Love and Price to meet Cody Simon, Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, Lathan Ransom in the middle. Ohio State's that team. And, they're going to win. They're going to win. And
Score?
I think 28-17.
You said 2017.
28-17. I think that I think it's close? I think Ohio State. I don't think Notre Dame gets a lead in this game. I think if Notre Dame gets a lead, it's 3-0.
That's valid. I think in the first quarter, Notre Dame's going to realize because I think they're going to try and run the ball, and Ohio State's going to that D-line's going to force them to throw the ball.
They also love their tosses, Notre Dame, because Jeremiah Love's really good in the open field.
Oh, yeah.
Cody Simon's going to break right through that and knock him.
Yeah, Caleb Downs is going to. They're going to play
Downs.
some kind of cover, and he's going to leak down and get some stops.
And last thing I'll say about this Ohio State defense, they did not pressure Dylan Gabriel once at Autzen Stadium against Oregon. Since then, they have the highest pressure rate in the country. They blitz. They put Caleb Downs everywhere because he is the best defensive player in the country, and I'll stand on that. They're just playing, man. They're just playing. And this is why this senior class came back for a game like this. I understand that they didn't beat Michigan, but win a natty.
Yeah. They got the money to do it, so
Yeah.
do it. All right, let's go.
Let's keep
NFL.
going football. Yeah,
Let's go NFL, baby.
We go in NFL. It was a good wild card
Go to
weekend.
the big leagues.
Yeah, a good wild card weekend. Not for me because Sam Darnold lost, honestly. But like, is there anything we want to start with on wild card weekend? Like, we could start with Darnold, but I feel like there's bigger stuff that happens.
I mean, I would tell you it was underwhelming.
Darnold.
The wild
card weekend. Yeah.
To me, at least.
Yeah.
I mean, that Houston Chargers game was just terrible.
Terrible. Yeah, how many one-score games did we get?
We'll get into that in a second.
I mean, Herbert was just out there throwing gimmies.
Let's talk about it.
Like, here, you get a pick, and you get a pick. Like, even at the end of the game, he has 2 picks. He throws a pick, then he gets the ball back, then he picks it again. Yeah. It's like, what are you doing? You're just throwing gimmies.
He looked like Jackson Dart.
I could have gotten an interception on him the way he was throwing the ball.
Bro, for real. And I guess he had one touchdown and stuff, but like, the game was over.
Don't get me started on Justin Herbert, dude.
Bro, and Houston was reeling, too.
Yeah, let's talk about Justin Herbert.
Let's talk about Justin Herbert.
All right, I got to rant. Let me go first.
Go.
Oh
And before you go, if you guys watch our first episode, he talked about Justin Herbert, and we said to each other, if he plays bad, this is going to be this rant. So
I talked highly of Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I basically said Justin Herbert, for one, is not a top 5 quarterback. A lot of people think he is. He's not. Why? Because he never gets the job done. When it's time for you to play in your biggest spots, you never come through. You had the playoff game against the Jaguars. You had the lead at halftime. Lawrence threw 4 picks. You got to put points on the board. You lose that game. I get that there was defense. They didn't uphold anybody. You got Brandon Staley. You're still the quarterback. You got to put points on the board. Mm-hmm. This game right here, you were away again because you haven't had a home playoff game because the regular season hasn't been the greatest for you in all your years. What is he in, like year 6 now?
Year 5, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, year
something,
5 or 6,
like
and you don't have one playoff win. Not one.
Yep.
CJ Stroud has more playoff wins.
He has 2 and 2.
He has he has more playoff wins. Jordan Love has a playoff win.
Yep.
You got
Lamar
guys,
and Josh Allen
Daniel
got their playoff wins
Jones has a
before.
playoff win.
I'm saying if Daniel Jones is
Daniel
outranking
Jones
you in a stat,
has a playoff
there's a
win.
problem.
And there is nothing a Chargers fan could say about the competition. The Houston Texans, people will go to playoff wins and say this team was fraudulent. I'm not calling the Houston Texans fraudulent. I'm actually about to praise their defense after Tucson's done. But that was the easiest opponent the Los Angeles Chargers could have drawn in the AFC, and they didn't only get beat; they got belt. They got belt to blank.
And it was 100% Justin Herbert's fault.
It was like
so. Keep going.
He's just The only thing I have to say more than that is Justin Herbert is a top 5 talent. He can throw the ball. He can throw a missile. He can throw an absolute dart. And you saw it a couple of times in the game. But first of all, Number one, you threw 4 picks. There's not 4 drives in the entire game. Yep. So you had other opportunities. You got to the red zone twice and kicked 2 field goals. That's 8 points you left on the board. You didn't put points on when you came back from half. You didn't put. That's the thing. When at halftime, you're supposed to adjust. You're supposed to come back, be better. You're supposed to see what they're giving you in the second half. You throw more picks in the second half than the first half.
Yep.
That tells you how bad of a quarterback. I mean, some of these picks. Now let's be honest. 2 of the picks technically weren't his fault. They went through defenders' hands. You still had
That's why you got to address the receiver position,
but
man.
you still had 2 very bad picks that you're just forcing the ball. Okay? And I know he didn't have receivers. You got to put more than 6 points in a playoff game.
Yep.
Just not good.
It's unacceptable. He's looking like D'Angelo Russell out there.
I love that, buddy.
Justin D'Lo Embiid Herbert. That's what I'm calling him from now on.
I like that.
Justin D'Lo Embiid Herbert.
Dude, and props, and you couldn't even.
I praised him, dude. I praised him.
Yeah.
I praised him. I can't.
I prayed Justin Herbert going back to Oregon.
And you got Harbaugh.
I can't, dude.
Yeah, and you got Harbaugh.
I can't, dude.
I
can't. I don't know.
And you're facing a Texans team that worst offensive line in football. 2 points against Baltimore. They have not been playing good football.
And they looked like they were. And they looked like they could beat the NFC.
They were flying.
Dude, they looked like
they were flying.
They looked like the best team in the AFC in that game, dude.
And some of that's because of Houston. Their defense has been good this year. They have one of the best passing defenses in the
league. Their defense
league.
is good.
But the Chargers lost that game.
Kamari Lassiter, dude. Kamari Lassiter was a ball player.
Their secondary is really good.
That kid can play some ball.
Their secondary is
Lassiter
really good.
and Stingley is crazy.
Nasty.
And
it's a nasty combo.
Yeah, and talking about that, like Houston, we'll give them their praise. I don't think anybody in this room knows what's coming. P-A-T, the Golden Boy. Houston's going into Arrowhead, baby. Does Houston have a chance in this game?
Kermit.
No, not a single chance. The game might be close, but they're not going to win. It's impossible. It's literally impossible. It's impossible.
It's impossible.
No, they're not. They don't have a chance. But I will say Nico is going to go for like 100 plus.
I could see it, but the Chiefs have good corners. Trent
do.
McDuffie's gross, but Trent McDuffie, he's a slot guy. They're not going to line up Nico Collins in this slot.
Though.
CJ Stroud needs 303 and stuff. Houston almost beat Kansas City early in the year, but at the same time, the Chiefs just find ways to win, man.
Yeah. I think it's going to be closer than what people think, obviously.
I think it'll be like a 4-point game, but I think that the Chiefs will be in control the entire time.
Maybe more like a 6.
Yeah.
6 points. Like 6, yeah.
I'll go 7. We'll do predictions
What's the
after,
line
but
at?
it's like 7.5 or something.
7.5.
And like, look, I think if we're talking about the Chiefs and stuff for a second, their biggest threat's going to be the Ravens or the Bills, who respectively beat the Steelers and Broncos. Both games weren't really that close. 8.5, that makes sense.
Yeah, no.
Both the Ravens and Bills did exactly what we thought they'd do. They beat their teams pretty easily. We could talk about those, but like I think it's pretty simple. Ravens, Derrick Henry. Like,
I was about to say there wasn't much to talk about with that Baltimore game.
Yeah, exactly. There's not that much to talk about with the Denver game either. Denver will be back next year, but they were never a Super Bowl contender. Like,
no.
Derrick Henry.
They had us in the first quarter.
They did.
I'll tell you, they happy with the first quarter.
Props to Denver for coming out the
like
way.
a famer.
Yeah.
They went up 7-0. I said, oh shit.
Yeah.
I was like, hold on, wait a second.
Hey,
No.
that's Sean Payton right there. That's Sean Payton.
Wait a second.
The only thing for the Ravens,
but they didn't. No.
The only thing from the Ravens Steelers. Can we talk about Tomlin for like a hot second?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Everyone's been calling for his name. Do you think he should be fired?
No, I don't. I just
don't see a better
ridiculous.
option, bro.
No one let's talk about this Pittsburgh team. Preseason, when you went into this year, you weren't thinking of Pittsburgh actually being a legitimate contender. Like they were a legitimate contender for a second. Like people were seriously
got to,
talking
like,
about
7-2.
Are they going to get to the Super Bowl? Like they were a legitimate contender, and they entered the season like one of Tomlin's worst teams.
Well, here's the thing:
the quarterback position was a question mark for this team.
Dude, Tomlin had Russell Wilson and Justin Fields play well. They played well.
Well, two things. One, they weren't supposed to win this game, obviously, and second of all, they the Steelers are not configured to win games in a row because they started 10 and what was they started like 10-1 or something
10-2
and then they lost the last 5 straight.
Yeah, they lost 5 straight.
They're not configured to win. They spend more money on defense than they spend on offense.
That game in Cleveland really messed them up. I'm not gonna
that
lie.
right there tells you everything. I mean, you kept Big Ben for too long. Now you're cycling through quarterbacks. You had Kenny Pickett last year, and next year we don't even know if Justin Fields or Russell Wilson will be there.
And if both don't come back,
Yeah.
A-Rod. Look, the other thing I'll say about the Steelers. Oh wait,
what about Sam Darnold?
That's another possibility.
Your guy.
I like that. Sam Darnold with Mike Tomlin, because I think a lot of that is because a lot of Sam Darnold's success is because he had Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin's not an offensive guy though, and also I think
have Arthur Smith.
Give me the little credit to Arthur Smith.
Oh, I guess, but bro,
He's not a bad OC. He's
not a bad OC.
He's a bad head coach.
Not bad.
Not a
for
bad OC.
Pittsburgh, you
not
got to
bad.
find a quarterback that makes up for the deficit, because the AFC for the next 20 years, 15 years, it's going to be, do you have a quarterback that could beat Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, or Big Daddy
That's
Pat?
literally
Or Burrow.
yeah.
Or Burrow.
Yeah,
or Burrow.
that whole division.
Yeah.
You got Mahomes. I mean, not Mahomes. You have
Lamar
and Burrow.
And
the Browns obviously don't have anybody. They don't jack squat.
Browns-
Anybody you put on Browns is
Doesn't
better.
matter. Lamar
I'm
and
not
Burrow are
sure.
enough.
I
right?
mean, I don't know. This is coming from two Lions guys, but like, I don't know if we're ever going to see the Browns really excel
no.
too much. But
let's
you
not
never
talk
know.
about Cleveland. No,
Yeah,
but
no,
like I
I'm
think
not.
the one thing I'll say about Cleveland, and this might come back to bite me. I don't really have a lot of Browns fans, so I'm fine saying this. You knew the Steelers weren't a Super Bowl contender when they lost to Jameis Winston.
Oh no, that's
Yeah.
What do you say? I'm so grateful to play
I'm
in
so
the
grateful.
snow.
I love Jameis Winston. I freaking love him. I love him going back to Florida State. Pittsburgh losing that game, dude. Everybody ripped them off. All right. And
Oh my
speaking of
God.
the Ravens,
All right.
Hey, you heard what James said? He said, I hope God blesses me to not throw these pick sixes anymore.
right? Bro, and speaking
He
of the
got benched
Ravens,
like 3
my
weeks later. He got
gosh, dude.
benched.
Jameis is the
camera,
best.
can you see this?
Jameis
All right?
is the best.
Camera, this is our friend Matt Shea
That's Matt.
in his
That's
Ravens
Matthew.
uniform.
That is Matthew.
Because
Hold
the
it. Let me
Ravens
see it.
have.
Let me see it.
the-
I'm gonna give him a better angle.
Give a better angle.
Let me give him a better
And
angle.
while he does that, I'm
Let's
gonna
hold
set
this
the
up
scene
right
because
here.
Buffalo's Buffalo. The Ravens have the biggest playoff game of Lamar Jackson's career. This is the best game of the weekend.
100%. This is the biggest flocker that I know. The biggest.
We're literally
Ravens flocker
going
that
to
I
a
know.
Ravens bar with them and
No,
stuff. And I don't know who
100%.
I'm rooting for, but this game, Lamar Jackson and
game.
Josh
Best
Allen
game of the- best
all
game.
have a chance to change their legacy.
For the MVP.
For
Dude,
the
I'm not
MVP,
even-
honestly.
I'm not even gonna lie, dude. Like, besides the Super Bowl, this is 100% gonna be the best game of the playoffs.
Bro.
100%.
Well, both these guys.
100%.
Who is going to get the chance at Mahomes? Because NFL media spends 10 months out of a year going, the Chiefs are the best team, the Bills and the Ravens are the second best team.
Yeah.
Lamar and Josh Allen are the two favorites to win MVP. I think Lamar's the favorite. We had our
And they're
MVP
all
discussion
wrong.
last
The
year.
second best team is
Because this is the thing.
No,
it's-
in the
it's-
AFC. In the AFC.
Oh, okay.
In the
I was
AFC.
saying.
Yeah, we're not
But-
there
We're
yet.
forgetting
We're not
So
there yet.
you got to get over this.
Yeah, no, it's literally Patrick Mahomes, and then it's these
these
two
two.
guys in the same conversation right under him.
Yeah.
They are grouped together every single year,
Bro.
every single conversation when it comes to the quarterbacks in the AFC.
Can I say something? I
and
think
top
Josh
quarterbacks in the
Allen
league.
right now is the Luka Doncic of the NFL.
I don't think that's a bad thing to say.
Doesn't
bad.
have
It's not a bad
MVPs
thing.
or titles yet. Consistently gets to the playoffs. Everyone knows he's really good. Always the preseason favorite for MVP, but he doesn't have it yet.
Yeah.
But he's really good, and everyone knows that he's good.
Bro, these guys are both those quarterbacks are so special. So special. I mean, look, Josh Allen, 20 for 26, 277, and 2 touchdowns against the Broncos, who, by the way, Broncos have a good defense. Pat Surtain's the best corner in the league.
Oh yeah.
Arguably Sauce Gardner. Wink, wink. I don't know what that was, but we'll,
That wasn't even a wink.
but
Clip that, please.
we'll clip that.
Clip that, please.
Was that even a wink? Your eye
my
like spazzed out.
I winked,
Oh
I
my
winked,
God,
I
I
winked.
spazzed.
Who's gonna play better on Sunday night? And who's gonna will their team to win?
Dude, Dude, I still got Baltimore, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I still have Baltimore.
Oh, we got to talk about one more thing before we do those predictions, and we'll do predictions at the end once we do we'll do the two AFC first. Baltimore has a bad man, Derek. We haven't talked about Derek.
King Henry.
The
Indeed.
King.
I mean, it's self-explanatory.
Not
It's
too
self-explanatory.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna
put the over on the on
Can
the
I just
yards.
read? Could I just read his past
Saquon
4
was
games?
the king this year, though.
Past 4 games. 14. Oh no, now it's there. Past 4 games. 24 for 162, 27 147, 21 38, 26 186.
You have to stop him.
They gotta tackle him.
You got to stop him.
And
You
if you're
have to
good
stop
luck
him.
tackling him, because when you put everybody there, Lamar Jackson got legs.
You saw that clip of him running through the defense, and it was like 8 of them trying to follow him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was nasty.
Oh, I love
yeah.
when that's because Derrick Henry also is like he's deceptively fast. He doesn't look the fastest on TV.
Oh, no, he's
there are
quick,
so
dude.
many long Derrick Henry runs where it looks like he's just almost jogging and stuff, and all these guys are chasing him, and these guys are so much smaller than him. And I'm just like, one, why can't you catch up to him? And 2, even if you catch up to him, good luck bringing Derrick Henry down.
His
He
off-season
can-
workouts are
He
crazy.
can wheel. He can
Yeah,
wheel, bro.
dude.
His off-season
He can
workouts,
wheel.
it's like he's doing push-ups with chains and
He
and
can wheel
weights
it,
on his
bro.
back.
He is the best running back of this generation. I'll say that right now.
No
yeah,
thanks.
yeah.
Good luck, Buffalo, stopping him. But Buffalo's a real team too. Let's not look. We're talking about the Ravens, and now they have a chance. They still
Buffalo
got to
is a
go
real
into.
team.
They still got to go into Orchard Park.
Buffalo is a real team. I mean, it's the relentlessness of Josh Allen. Like,
Yep.
He's just relentless. Like
Josh Allen's going to run through.
No,
someone.
you know Josh Allen is going to be Josh Allen. Like,
Right.
there's nothing you can do about that.
Dude, remember when people were down in Josh Allen at the start of the year, including me, because I thought the Jets were going to win the AFC East, but they lost Stephon Diggs. They didn't have a wide receiver.
I think it was ridiculous to doubt Josh Allen. It wasn't ridiculous to doubt the Bills though. Like,
I
I
like
doubted
that.
the Bills.
I like that.
Like everyone doubted the Bills. Like he
Yeah.
No,
he's throwing a Dalton Kincaid.
no one
like
thought
I
he
said
was
it
gonna be-
last week. He's
no
not
one-
throwing a Dalton Kincaid and
Bro, his best receiver is Khalil Shakir.
rookie Keon Coleman.
No one,
and
no one thought that he was going to be this good. Like,
exactly.
they were going to
No
be this
one.
good as a squad.
No.
Shout out Haley Steinfeld.
Shout out Steinfeld. That
Yeah.
might be. A
And by the
little-
way, James Cook's a great
that might
running
be.
back too.
That might be a big contribution.
I think it's a huge contribution.
to what Josh Allen's doing right now.
Dude, the Bills are
100%.
The Bills are ridiculous. Their defense
But no,
flies
they
around.
are. Yeah, their
Like,
defense is nice. Joe Brady's calling
Yeah.
plays. I just watched that Week
Yep.
4 game against Baltimore though. Joe Brady was.
Nah, he was smoking some heavy stuff in the game.
It seemed like he was high. In
Let's
the
go
booth.
do a wildcat trick play
It
with
seemed like Joe Brady was
Curtis
high.
Samuel.
It seemed like Joe Brady was high in the booth
Dude,
against Baltimore in Week 4. But
yeah,
I
they
think
can't do
I
that
think he's
again.
fixed it though. He's 100%. I think he's fixed it.
No, he's a good OC.
It's going to be
I
a better
agree.
game.
Do we predict the 2 AFC games first, or do we go into NFC and then come back?
We
Let's
can go to
predict.
we can go to we
let's
can
go
to
NFC and do all
then
4 at the end.
All 4 predictions.
The last thing I'll say about Ravens Bills, I think it's the game everyone's most excited for. Whoever wins this game, got to do everything to win this game. 2 really good teams, both deserve to be in the championship.
Here.
Next week's going to be harder.
That's what I'm saying. The winner here
Oh,
is
yeah,
Patrick
100%.
Mahomes.
The
I
winner
know,
here
it's
is
like-
Patrick
They're
Mahomes.
going to
no.
be emotionally depleted. Like, I just
And
beat.
I told you guys, I saw this tweet and I needed to
it's
get
like-
this on, bro.
It's like
Yeah,
you
go.
climb up that. It's like you climb up like
The
that
mountain.
that big ass mountain, and then you get on top, and you're like,
And it's just like a guy going,
There's another mountain on
Wait,
top of the
hold
mountain.
on.
imagine the narrative of like
"There's
Lamar,
a bigger fucking mountain." Right there.
Lamar and Josh Allen walking up the mountain and stuff. Get over. Hey, how are you? Or whatever the.
Yeah, Patrick just has a mountain at the
Kermit.
top. He has a
Not
house
Kermit.
pad. He's got a mansion at the top of the mountain,
Hey.
and they're trekking up it.
Bro,
trying to
it's
get
just like
there.
he comes
how
up
are you?
and he hears Taylor Swift, "Welcome to New York." Bro, it's stuff like that. So whoever wins that game, they get their shot though, and I guess that's all you need when you have these good teams. You need a shot. But like,
Yeah.
the best tweet I saw, and it's literally stuck with me. Everybody's better than Mahomes, so you got to be better than Mahomes,
Yeah,
and that's what it is.
100%.
And there's one quarterback in the league better than Patrick Mahomes. It's Sam Darnold. And Sam Darnold and the
Please clip
Minnesota.
that.
Well, then that makes
Please
Aaron
clip
Glenn the
that.
greatest
That's
defensive-
fucking
just because of my
That makes
credibility,
Aaron
that
Glenn
is
the greatest
ridiculous.
defensive coordinator of all
All
time.
right.
That was egregious.
Just because
Glenn
of-
is the greatest defensive
That was
coach of all time.
egregious.
Just because of my credibility and stuff, I don't
Jeez.
actually think that. I'm just a Sam Darnold truther. But let's
Jeez.
talk about that game on Monday night. We're gonna switch to the NFC and we'll do the Monday night game first. I don't know. Play cups and a rose. Like
Oh, you want to talk about that game?
I feel like we got to talk about all 3 NFC games, but like we could do that one.
We can.
Let's
do it.
Here,
Go
let's
ahead,
start with the Monday night game.
Start us off,
What
Jake.
happened?
Go ahead and start us off, Jake.
What was that guy on TikTok? He's like, "What happened?"
James Ross. Yeah, James Ross. He's hilarious, by the way.
I know what you're talking about.
He's hilarious. I have pushed a narrative
Jeez.
since 2018 Sam Darnold is a good quarterback. I still believe that. He did not play well. He was sacked 9 times. 9. That's a postseason record. And I've been pushing this narrative. The Rams defense was flying around. And this is the part where a lot of people will agree with me or won't agree with me. He wasn't the main reason they lost this game. Their offensive line didn't block. Their defense that led the league in interceptions was not good. The Vikings, they were planning a celebration. Cam Bynum literally said to the NFL social media before the game, "We got a turnover ready." Didn't get a turnover. Yeah,
because they were dancing in the hotel room instead of actually.
Exactly. Like there were a lot of other things that contributed. Sam Darnold was one of them. I don't know if he was the one, but he clearly didn't play well, and it doesn't help my agenda of saying that he should be that guy.
I'm trying to find.
I definitely he was about 30 to 40% of the blame. And
I agree with that. I think that's a good number.
I would say the second highest would probably be O'Connell, just because it didn't seem like those guys were ready to play. First of all, the offensive line didn't do him any help. I mean, he had
they were bad.
Some of those turnovers, he held the ball for too long. Yeah. Some of those, he had no time in the pocket to throw at all.
None. And they have a homegrown offensive line too. Like the biggest thing for the Vikings this year, all 5 of their starting offensive linemen were drafted by Minnesota, homegrown. Mm-hmm. Cam Robinson, I forgot what the injury was, but it ended his season the first time against LA, and they started deteriorating from there, and they were able to get plug and plays. The Rams' young defense, Jared Verse is going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Nasty.
The picture of Jared Verse jumping on him,
dude.
That's the sum of the game. Like
Verse
that's it.
Is
yeah,
nasty,
that's it.
Man.
Verse is gross.
That's a
nasty.
I'll let you show that.
That's a terrible. That's a crazy good replacement for Darren
Born and
Donald.
bred Florida State Seminole right there. Jared Verse.
He's gross.
He's nasty.
He's gross.
So yeah, Jake texted us before the game.
Not only these two in our chat with a lot of our friends, like a lot of our friends, and this wasn't the only.
Everyone's in the chat.
This was not the only chat I sent.
The guys and the girls are in this chat, and he just wanted to lay it on the line.
Yeah.
At Monday night at 7:07,
the game started at 7:09.
7:09. He says with the football, he sends a picture of Sam Darnold actually in a New York Jets jersey, of course. He says with the football game tonight, everyone root for my king, my Pookie Bear, my chosen one, my man, my treasure. Toussaint and Blake, especially you two. I said I got you. I think I texted Jake probably not even 30, probably like 15 minutes later, and I said, "How are you feeling?"
You said yikes.
I said yikes. I did.
Yeah,
I said yikes. I texted him yikes. Yeah. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know if you were like tweaking out. I didn't know what was happening.
I was not happy.
So I texted him. I said yikes, and
but props to
I texted you how you feeling, and
from the start.
I said, "Jake, how you feeling?" He texted back to the Spotify of Marvin's room. Said, sad vibes,
bro. Sad vibes. And like, look, I'm gonna give my props to LA, and I'm gonna give my props to you because you called LA that sleeper team. Matt Stafford looked great, and that defense looked great.
McVay and Stafford together are lethal in the postseason.
Yeah, that's why they won that Super Bowl.
They looked like a complete
They almost
team.
beat the Lions last year.
They looked like a
almost
complete.
beat. What, you guys win that game by 7 or something? Like,
one.
It was one.
It was 24-23.
One
We just barely beat them.
1 point.
That's why people were saying like that was going to be one of our toughest runs. Was the wild card.
It was 1 point.
Props to LA. Look, like I'm hella upset about Darnold. I think though he solidified himself as a top 30 quarterback in the league. He'll be a starter week 1 next year. Yeah. Nobody's debating that.
Someone's going to pay him.
But one, he played bad. 2, the Vikings played bad. The Rams played well. The Rams did what they did. And they won for LA. Thoughts and prayers.
Give credit where it's due. I am a Lions fan, but like, geez, he was scarred.
Yeah, they won 4.
He was scarred from that. Like he
No,
he would not throw the ball.
Rams
he was holding
defensive
on
coordinator
to it.
literally did what Glenn did.
And then another thing is you don't prepare for that. Like they just shut you down from what you've been doing all year. The Lions did, and then the Rams come back and copy and paste.
Also, like
what the Lions did in Aaron Glenn, and you don't prepare for that at all.
The Rams are not a good passing defense either. Like again,
no.
Like, I'm looking at the stats right now. They're like middle of the
Rams
pack.
get in shootouts, dude.
No, people have been saying all year long that
they allow over 200 passing yards a game.
They get in shootouts.
That's why people said that they were good was only because of Stafford and McVay, but they didn't think the defense was... Because the defense is very young. The secondary is very young.
Yeah.
And you talked up the Rams last week.
Yeah, they were my sleeper team.
And props to that. I obviously couldn't get over the Viking stuff. They might go into Philly. They might.
Listen, I've said this. We're gonna get into the Lions. We're gonna get to the Lions. Don't worry, we're gonna get to the Lions. But I would rather face Stafford And I think that Stafford has a good chance of meeting the next. I think Stafford has a good chance of winning that game. Because think about it, Jalen Hurts is not. Yeah, Jalen Hurts isn't himself right now. He isn't feeling it like himself. And if Stafford plays like he played against the Vikings, they can definitely win that game.
I just think Philly's too talented.
And Philly did just enough to win. Just enough to win against Green Bay. We'll move to that game. They won that game 22-10. Jalen Hurts.
It's because Jalen Hurts isn't passing the ball the way he should be.
He shouldn't.
But they got Saquon Barkley.
I think to be fair, though, to be fair, it was one of those games where he was like getting back in the motions of that concussion. Like,
invalid. And you could do that.
I'm not gonna lie. Jalen Hurts still might have a concussion if we're being.
No, he definitely.
I think he's been concussed all year. Like, let's be for real. There was like that interview he did with Scott Van Pelt. Like I don't even know. It was like week 3 or 4. He had the shades on, and he was just like
really calm.
He was calm. He was an MC. And so like Jalen Hurts doesn't joke around too often, and he was just like in that interview laughing his ass off the whole time. Like he was
on
high.
some sort of gas or something.
Like he was high.
Yeah, they gave that man. Yeah, he was on that perk. He was on what Perk Rogers was on.
Perk Rogers.
On God, Aaron Rodgers.
His eyes were fully dilated.
A-Rod gave him some ayahuasca.
No, Aaron Rodgers. This was Aaron Rodgers. They said, what happened? You went into the locker room and you were hurt. He said, yeah, I just I felt something, and we worked with doctors, and I just felt great.
And speaking, the biggest part for this Philly team, not only in this game coming up, but if they do win this week, and then they got to go to Detroit. AJ Brown cannot have one reception for 10 yards, and the most camera time AJ Brown gets is him reading a book on the sideline. You got to get your weapons involved. The Eagles have
100%.
The Eagles arguably have the best weapons in the league.
They're just talented though. Like it's just one of those.
It's Saquon Barkley.
No, but that's the reason why I think that the Rams can win.
If you're a star, you're gonna have to be okay with having an off night. Like it's just not
one matchup. I'm also really, really intrigued for. The Eagles have 2 really good young corners in Quinyon Mitchell, who could win Defensive Rookie of the Year, and Cooper DeJean is cornerback 1. You guys know that song?
No.
Oh, I'll show you it after. Oh, that's a fire song. Cooper DeJean,
the Caucasian
cornerback 1.
The Caucasian
that
cornerback.
matchup I'm so excited for. Those 2 rookies against Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
Kupp's not doing jack.
Kupp's not doing
Kupp
might get clams. Puka's not.
Yeah.
And against Stafford, who's been here plenty of times and won a Super Bowl.
Cooper DeJean versus Cooper Kupp, the battle of the Coopers.
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh, Coops.
Dude,
Coops.
that's gonna. Matt Stafford might go in there. He's had his playoff win.
I don't see it. I just think
he did it. He did it too.
Dude.
I could see it.
Just watch out. I'm saying.
I watch out too.
When the Rams, think it's gonna be a close game. I do.
When the Rams won the Super Bowl, what did the Rams win the Super Bowl? 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whenever they won. They were the
2021.
21 to 22.
Yeah.
They were the 4 seed. They played Arizona at home. They killed them. Everyone's just like, well, now I got to go up against Tom Brady. Went down to Tampa Bay, beat him.
But that's because they had that bomb at the end to Cooper DeJean when the secondary blew the coverage.
They did
for the field goal.
They did
kicked the field goal,
but they were up 27-0 in that game.
They were.
They put Bell
Brady came back,
and Brady because he's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Stafford did the same thing. That doesn't mean I'm picking the Rams. We'll get to that in a second. But they've been here. They've been here. And Sean McVay's been here.
I will absolutely intervene here and not say it's gonna be don't just think me saying I don't think it's gonna happen. Think it's gonna be a blowout. It's not gonna be a blowout. I think it's gonna be a closer game. Obviously,
I agree.
And I think if Philly does what they did last week on offense against Green Bay, I don't think they will win. I don't think they will beat LA. No.
And speaking of Green Bay,
they have to absolutely move the ball and create.
Yeah. Actually, we don't even need to go into Green Bay. The one thing is just it's disappointing. The injuries suck. Jordan Love didn't play well, blah, blah, blah. It didn't work out.
Packers suck.
And I said it. They've been getting injured all year.
Bro.
That's literally what happened with Green Bay. They have been getting hurt all year.
Jordan Love's just been forcing the ball into windows that he's not supposed to.
I think it might be a different discussion for a different day, but Jordan Love,
took a step
what is
back.
the hype there?
He's still good. Oh, he just didn't play well. He also, look at who he was throwing to.
He's good, but he's not great right now.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
It's
valid.
He's good. Good. But not great. He's not you can't put him. I think last year's win overvalued him though, because he went into Dallas and Dallas. Let's be honest, Dallas was a 12-win team. Everyone picked Dallas to win. They definitely should.
Just let me know when to press the button.
Go
when
ahead,
we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys.
This is the one time I rooted for the Packers. But Jordan Love forces the ball too much. He has too many turnovers. He did get way too hurt. He was hurt all year.
From game 1 to game 18.
Groin injury, knee injury, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And
All right.
we'll. Oh wait, we got to do the last game.
Yeah.
I'll just start it off. Jaden Daniels is showtime. Which one of you said last week he's so good with the last 30 seconds? Was that you?
Me, yeah. It's scary. Like,
Look how many fourth quarter games they win with a rookie quarterback.
No,
they win every fourth quarter game
it's
with
scary.
a rookie.
It's scary. You know, we are Me and Tucson are Lions guys. Like, this is all grit over
They
here,
are going to
baby.
be scared.
This is all grit over
This is gonna
here,
make
baby.
me shit my
I am
pants.
so
Yeah.
excited for
Yeah.
Saturday. But listen, though. Listen. Yeah. I think I'm not even going to get into predictions right now. I am genuinely nervous to play against Jaden Daniels. I seriously am.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about the other side of the ball. I am genuinely nervous
Yeah.
to play against Jaden Daniels.
I just think that if we get a few stops here and there, then we can win that game.
But it's also like, don't make it a close game and give Jaden Daniels the ball.
Jaden
with 2 minutes
Daniels
left.
No.
And that's ridiculous to
So
say as a rookie
special.
quarterback.
So special.
But see, that's why I
man.
don't have as much fear as you, because I think the offense is going to keep scoring.
And I hope so. And I think that's what's going to happen. I do. It's just
Our recipe,
It's
for
just like
our recipe for success is get takeaways like every now and then, and when you
Contain
need
the
it.
read option.
Yeah, we're not gonna have a dominant
no,
defense
100%.
where it's gonna.
You cannot
crush
you
people.
cannot blitz this kid.
No,
You cannot
dude.
blitz
He'll
this
break
kid at all.
everything. And
you
also
cannot
they-
blitz this kid.
You
You
need a spy.
send 4, dude.
The Commanders
Like, that's
have
it.
good skill
Angeloni's
positions.
got to stay behind the line
Send
of
4
scrimmage.
and that's it.
Angeloni's
Please
got to
do
stay
not
behind
send
the
more
line
than
of
4.
scrimmage.
Jaden Daniels has been doing this in the fourth quarter, dating back to his freshman year of college when he welcomed into Oregon, the number 5 team in the country, was going to go to the playoff.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert. And what did he do? Deep ball, 80 yards, Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
Dagger in their heart.
That was
Did
a
it to
nice
Tampa
one.
again.
That was a nice one. Yeah.
Lions, look, I'm going to spoil my prediction. I think you win. I would be scared shitless of Jaden Daniels and what he could do.
I just think the thing is with the
Scared.
Lions. I think the thing is
Also,
just,
Tyreek Hill is going to be a Washington Commander.
It's so-
I fully believe that. But anyway,
uh,
fully believe that.
Type. I
That-
can
that'll-
see that.
I fully
I can
believe
see
that.
that. That's a different story for a different day.
Yeah. Fully believe
I
that.
can see Tucson's
Yeah.
face right now.
That was processing in my mind.
Yeah,
I'm like,
give him a second. But
Yeah. I just think it was so important.
Washington.
Yeah.
Washington.
what are you basing that off of?
They need a number 1 wideout. Where else is he going to go?
No, I like Terry McLaurin though.
Terry's good. But I mean, like, look at all these teams that pair a wideout 1A with a 1B.
That is facts.
Like, Terry's a
Facts.
great 1B. I don't know if he's an elite 1A. If you put those two together, I think you might be the best team. Also, like, look, your main competition is the Eagles.
I wouldn't
AJ
be
Brown
opposed
and
to it. It'd be
Devontae.
fun. It'd be fun.
I don't think the Dolphins
see.
want to trade him in the AFC. They're not trading him back. Look at the needy teams in the AFC right now. I know we're going a little off right now.
I just don't see him on Washington for
because
some reason.
because Washington's barely even a team right now. Like, they're the Commanders.
I
They're not a brand.
It'd be fun.
It would. I just don't see as like a
I just think
real-
he's gonna go to more of a contender.
That's
like
what I
Buffalo.
feel like, because I feel like he got.
They're not
he
going to
was at
Buffalo. They're not
Mahomes.
trading him in division.
That's what I'm saying. He's in Mahomes.
Yeah, I don't-
He was
yeah,
with Mahomes.
that's valid.
Then he was
That is
with
valid.
trash Tua, who couldn't stay on the field.
Bro,
We haven't even
Jaden.
talked about the Dolphins. Tua.
We're not talking about
We're
the
not talking
Dolphins
about
till
them.
after.
We're not talking about
And
them.
so I think he's gonna find some ground where he's gonna be like, I can compete. I could see him at Buffalo.
He's not getting traded in
That's what I
division.
just said.
He's not.
He's not. They're not going to trade him.
He's
in
not
division,
trading in
though.
division.
I want to see him at Buffalo, but
I could see him going back to Kansas City. But they're not going to do that. And
don't wanna-
look at
I
the
don't
look at the
wanna
wide
do- I don't
receiver
wanna see
need
that.
look at the wide receiver
boring.
needy teams in the
Wait,
AFC.
when's his
the
contract
Patriots?
up?
Not 1 more year or 2 more years. He's not going to Patriots. He's not going to the Bills. He's not going to any team in the AFC South because they won't trade him there.
My issue is he went to Miami and had all of this praise for Tua. Basically said Tua can do what Patrick Mahomes does,
and then he says, "I want out."
and then you want out.
Yeah.
Me personally, I wouldn't trade him. I'd keep his ass right in Miami.
I just think
I
that
don't
the
know.
players in this league could get whatever
That's my
they want.
opinion. I don't know.
I'm trying to think of other teams in the NFC that could go for him.
I mean, they could cut him after this year.
I don't know. We're getting off track though.
We're getting a little off track.
That's
Getting
only
off track.
15 million
We're getting
dead
off
cap.
track. I feel like I don't know. That's a talk for when playoffs.
So
are
let's
over.
get into predictions.
It's a good talk. It's an interesting.
We'll do that.
debate,
We'll
bro.
do that. But
No,
like,
in the
How about
We'll do
let's
that in
do
the
this.
offseason.
Let's
We'll
do
do that in
this.
the offseason.
Let's do this. Comments. Give your predictions on Tyreek Hill and what happens this
Yeah.
offseason.
We'll talk
Let's
more
do
about that in the offseason when
We'll
Super
talk.
Bowl's
We'll
over.
come back to it in offseason.
all right, let's go into it. We'll be fast, and then we got a few more things that we're going to talk about. But who wants early game? Chiefs Texans. Pat.
Yeah.
Chiefs.
I mean, like, yeah, Kansas City,
Self-explanatory.
Kansas City.
That's easy. That's easy. We'll be talking about Patrick Mahomes and Sam next week.
100%.
We'll say next one Sunday night. Commanders or Saturday night. Commanders Lions.
Come
You want
on.
me to go first or like
You
or I'll
go
let the
first.
Yeah, sure. I think the Lions are just a better team. Jaden Daniels, you're so special, man. You're going to have a lot of playoff wins. You're going to have, hopefully, a lot of Super Bowl wins. You might have Tyreek Hill. The Lions are this team that is so easy to root for. So
One pride, baby. One pride.
I find it very
y'all
hard.
Should know our predictions over here.
Dude, the Lions are so good. They're so good top to bottom. There's generally not one position group that I could go that another team's better than them right now. Besides like Patrick Mahomes and stuff, like they're gonna get the stops necessary, and their offense is gonna be unstoppable.
To light that
and by the way, welcome back, David Montgomery.
Yeah.
The Lions at full health are scary.
We're healthy.
I think the Lions
finally.
I think the Lions
give Gibbs
win
more
by
touches.
10 plus.
Don't do 50-50. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah,
don't
I think
do
they should. I think they should definitely.
I don't think they will. Demo's
They should limit. They should limit Demo.
Yeah.
They will 100% will limit.
Yeah, with that knee injury, that he needs to be on a pitch clock.
Just limit him. Yeah.
So, and we know that Blake and Tucson are both picking the Commanders. So, they're picking the line.
Laughable.
Sunday afternoon, the first game, Eagles-Rams. I'll let you guys go first.
I got Philly. I have Eagles. I have Philly. I don't see LA getting it done.
I'm looking at him.
I think
Y'all know I'm a Lions fan. You know I know Stafford very well. Give me the Rams. They continue it.
Oh my gosh.
We faced the Rams in the division.
Was that his sleeper?
Yeah, that was his sleeper last week.
This is my sleeper.
You gotta go with your sleeper though.
Yeah, this is my sleeper this week.
It's not happening though.
I don't know if the Rams could stop Saquon Barkley.
Fly.
And I think if the Rams even stack the Bucs against Saquon Barkley, I think they try to get the Eagles try to get AJ Brown in the game. I think Jalen Hurts another week of being quote unquote healthy is going to help a lot. I think the biggest thing for Philly is that they don't look ahead, because I think Philly might be looking ahead a little because they're just like we're getting healthier and we're going to get a shot at Detroit. I like the Eagles. I think the Rams are a good team, but I think the defense makes a difference, and I think the Eagles, for how young they are. I mean, how many guys are in their 30 or under on that defense? DeJean, Mitchell, Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter.
I just think Stafford. I think my Stafford line is probably going to go for like 270 and 2 touchdowns.
Oh yeah, no, I like that. I think Stafford's going to go over, but Jalen Hurts also led his team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no doubt. But I just think to me right now, okay, if y'all don't know this, I am a secondary Eagles fan because I have family in Philly, so I grew up an Eagles fan because the Lions were so bad, so I was rooting for a good team. When I was
literally the same way.
So I'm so familiar with. I would pick the Eagles, but it's like to me, Jalen Hurts. He just doesn't feel like himself right now. And I feel like with the quarterback position and that team, they can hold a team.
Possible.
But they should have scored way more than 22 on,
I think it was just getting back in the motions, I think.
I think so, but I think at the same time.
I think it'll be better this week.
I think at the same time, he's still not fully there. Like mentally, he's not there. And to go to a Super Bowl run, you have to be all the way there.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, game of the week. I got Flock. The Ravens. I think Lamar gets it done. I do.
Josh Allen's been amazing this year.
I want Baltimore. I want to see Baltimore, Kansas City really bad. I don't want to see Buffalo, Kansas City.
Josh Allen's been great. MVP-esque year. Definitely up there. Probably the front runner right now. I got Ravens. I got purple. Just because I think their team is just too dominant right now. I mean, Derrick Henry's running through everybody. Lamar is playing out of his mind. Best statistical year he's ever had. I mean, John Harbaugh's is coaching a great team. The defense is on one. I feel like they're rolling right now. I got the Flock.
Give me Buffalo.
I could tell by the way he was smirking over there. I was like,
give me Buffalo. I think Josh Allen works the best when he is doubted. I think that
he was listening to everything I said. It was like I gotta.
I think people are against Josh Allen. I think people are against his Buffalo team. Lamar's got to go there. They don't got to go to Baltimore this time. I think Joe Brady learned. I think that Josh Allen has been trying to get back to that AFC Championship since he got there 5 years ago. They fell short.
Yeah.
I just feel like the Ravens. I feel like Lamar wants Patrick Mahomes more than Josh wants Patrick Mahomes.
It's possible. And the Bills already beat Mahomes this year.
Yeah.
They're the one team to beat Patrick Mahomes this year.
No, Lamar is on he's on
a different one. My biggest thing, Patrick Mahomes couldn't win in Buffalo. Are we sure Lamar Jackson can? I think he can. I want him to. Like, I'm a Jets fan. You think I want the Bills to win?
I think,
But
I think they can do it easily.
I think he could do it easily, but it's hard. And I think Buffalo's going to do just enough. Their defense is playing the best they've ever played, by the way.
Yeah.
Their defense
100%.
is ridiculous. Matt Milano's back. Terrell Bernard's playing well.
It's 100%
DeMar
gonna be
Hamlin, by the way, who's one of the best
gosh.
stories, not only in the NFL and sports, because of what he went through, and now he's a pretty good safety.
No, I got to give him props for like that, though, like 100%. That is the way he's playing. 100%.
I hate the Lamar Jackson narrative of he can't win in the playoffs because I think he can. I just think that Buffalo's going to beat him.
All right.
But I think Baltimore can win. And if they do, I want it to be known that I think it's possible. I'm just going to go Buffalo.
We shall see.
We shall see. And we're going to do one more NFL thing here.
Yeah, coaching.
What
are we going to just quick?
We're going to rapid fire it.
So
first,
Coaching.
Mike Vrabel to the Patriots. We all knew that was going to happen. There's not that much there.
Yeah,
the Patriots, I think the one thing we're all going to agree on, Drake May is a great situation. Vrabel used to be a Patriot. He's the best coach out there.
Yeah.
They might, Josh Allen is in that division, so I was going to say the Patriots might run the East. No, they won't. There are 7 head coach openings right now.
Yeah.
The Bears, the Cowboys, the Jets, the Saints, the Raiders, the Giants, the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Give me who you think. We'll literally go that fast. And we're going to start with Hector and our city's own Chicago Bears. Who's it going to be?
The Bears.
Who's it going to be?
Bears. I think it's going to be Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, good old Mike McCarthy.
I think it's going to be Mike McCarthy.
Everyone
says to the NFC North.
Everyone says Ben Johnson.
It's his vengeance on Green Bay. I think it's going to be
I think
Mike
Ben
McCarthy.
Johnson is looking elsewhere now. I think he's like, you guys had me at the top, and now you're interviewing everyone else, so I'm going to go elsewhere. That's what I feel like. I don't think
100%.
I'm going to go with McCarthy, too. I think Johnson is valuing other jobs more, and I don't think Ben Johnson wants to go in division.
No,
I think he's just not saying it because he's very good at moving in the silence, Ben Johnson. He's always been good at that.
Yeah.
And speaking of McCarthy's former team, the Cowboys, is it going to be Coach Prime?
I don't see it. I think he stays.
I think Coach Prime stays.
I think he will stay. Although I do believe the reports that if it's offered, I think Deion will want to take that job.
I agree with that.
I think he.
I don't want him to take the job.
But he definitely has stipulations in that contract where he's like, I have to be able to do this, that, and the other thing. That's why I just don't think it would work.
100%.
Because Jerry's going to get fed up at some point. If he's not winning and he's coaching Dak, it's going to be like...
Yeah, I don't want Deion to take the job, so I don't know. But
it's such a bad job right now anyway.
Such a bad job.
I mean...
He'd be throwing everything he's doing at Colorado away.
Yeah.
I mean, call me. Is it too late for Ben Johnson to interview for Dallas?
It's not too late.
I mean, call me crazy.
Throw it in, but he has to want to interview there. Ben Johnson has said that.
I hope he wants to. Goes to coach there, realizes that Jerry is a fool. Let's go, and comes back to the Lions.
That's the thing. Yeah.
I think it's going to be Kellen Moore. He used to be their offensive coordinator. He used to be their quarterback. I think Dak Prescott has a good command of the office. They missed that hire.
Yeah.
Moore's been great with the Eagles. I think Kellen Moore wants to come home.
That's valid.
And I think that's it.
Yeah.
Next up on our sheet.
The Jets.
Your guess is as good as mine, buddy.
Is it your Jets?
It's my Jets.
Your guess is as good as mine. They could hire the random homeless man off the street and be like, yeah, we'll make this work.
I think it's either...
Bro, they might hire James Draws.
I think it's either...
I'm so serious.
Aaron Rodgers, what happened?
I think it's either Aaron Glenn or...
I hope it's not.
I don't know, because I really think Aaron Glenn's going to go to New Orleans.
Apparently, he values the Jets more, or that's his top choice. That's what I saw, but I still don't feel confident.
I still
don't feel confident.
I see him in New Orleans.
Yeah, I feel like I see him in New Orleans.
I could see him wanting that Jets personnel on defense, though. Absolutely.
Yeah,
so I think that could be a big factor as to why.
I feel like the Jets are going to hire somebody out of an OC that's on the come up.
I want Todd Monken for Baltimore. From Baltimore, sorry.
To be honest, there's no wrong answer for you guys because of
anything's better than what the Jets are.
Yeah,
anything is better than what the New York Jets are. Anything.
That's a crazy thing to say. There's no wrong choice.
There's no wrong choice. Heck, I don't even think. Actually, Rex Ryan would have probably been the wrong choice. The New York Jets. The New York Jets need a culture.
Did they rule that out yet?
Yeah.
They did.
The New York Jets need a culture. Whoever's going to set that freaking culture,
I wouldn't have been mad.
Set it. I don't care. I'm literally going to plead the fifth on this.
You guys haven't been.
If I had to guess right now,
Rex Ryan.
I mean, Rex Ryan. I feel like Rex Ryan's the only one that have the balls to stand up to Woody Johnson and be like, sit down.
We're recording this episode on the 14-year anniversary of the Jets' last playoff win. You know who their head coach was? Rex Ryan.
Rex Ryan.
He's the only one that has the nerve to tell Woody Johnson to stop talking.
Yep.
I feel like.
Yeah,
That's why I'm like.
But that's why Woody's not going to hire him.
That's why Woody's not going to hire him.
Because he knows he'd be like, stop doing this. And Woody'd be like, no, it's my team.
Who's next?
The Saints. Aaron Glenn's the one for them. If it's not Aaron Glenn, I could see Leslie Frazier. I could see a few others.
Leslie.
I forgot about him.
I'm trying to think of who else is even possible. Like, why am I blanking on some names? I could see.
It's not even a good job, so it's like
not a great job. I could see Matt Nagy. I could, but like I doubt it. I doubt it.
No, the Saints definitely. No, the Saints.
Nagy really want to leave.
The Saints definitely would offer Nagy a position
I
because
could
they literally got the
would.
defensive coordinator from the time of Peyton.
I could.
Dennis Allen should never have been the coach.
I could see Ron Rivera.
I could see Ron.
He's been in the
But
coaching.
then again, he's been the
Just
Panthers
like-
guy forever. Is he really going to go back to the South?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess there's
with
not a lot of
Washington.
loyalty with coaching. Yeah.
Washington, so.
I think he would go.
Joe Brady for the Saints, who have the worst offense.
Actually, that's a really good hire. Joe Brady is actually a really good hire.
Joe Brady.
It is.
They need an OC because paying Derek Carr, they need to get every little bit out of him. Pause. So.
So, come on, my nigga. Come on, my nigga.
This is not. It is what it is.
Come on, my nigga.
It is what it is.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Like the Le'Veon Bell, I'm just frothing at the mouth to see what they can
I'm just frothing at the mat. I could not believe that was a real thing.
do. He said they're gonna show me all the ways they're gonna use my body.
Bro, dead straight.
Like what?
Oh my gosh!
Oh my god.
Who's next?
We're almost there. The Raiders. I think this is Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson.
The Raiders have the pick of the second quarterback. By the way,
Ben
they have the
Johnson.
6th pick.
Yeah, Brady's influencing everything. I think Mark Davis was
Although
like.
it's like what kind of factor does that really have though?
No, okay, I'll tell you.
I'll tell you.
Tom has a. He's Tom.
It's Tom Brady,
No,
but
no,
it's
no.
like-
I'll tell you. Mark
Yeah, he's
Davis
Tom,
is
bro.
a terrible owner.
He
Can't
is.
hire anybody. Think about
Yep.
it. He had what's his name? Daniels from the Patriots.
Yeah.
He was not a good head coach. They had Tom Telesco as a GM. Not good. I think he sees the writing on the wall and knows he can't hire anybody.
Yeah.
So he said, what do? I sell 5% of the stake and I get the greatest quarterback or the greatest player ever who obviously can make decisions. He's the one recruiting in New England, right? It's not Belichick. It's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
This guy is getting people to play for him. So if I give him a little bit of stake, he can say, I want this coach and I want this quarterback. Who's better to evaluate the quarterback position?
The
Then on
best
top of that,
quarterback to ever live.
Why they fired Telesco? They said it wasn't
Yep.
because he was bad. It was because they want everything at the same time. They want
Yep.
the coach, the quarterback, and the GM.
Okay.
Yep.
So
but-
Tom Brady, who played the sport and knows firsthand, is going to decide the one position
I
he
love
knows
that.
best.
Yep.
He's already been a GM practically during his career, and he wants the best offensively gifted mind out there in the coaching hire.
Right.
I do understand where you're coming from, and I thank you for that. But I'm gonna tell you straight up, I just think it's all fake. Like I just think it's fake.
What's fake?
Like I'm not like if I'm Ben Johnson, I would not. I'm being 100% serious. I would not give a shit if Tom Brady's calling me asking me to take a job with the Las Vegas Raiders. Like I would not care.
I care more about the situation and the
No,
Raiders.
like,
No, it's the situation. It's not Tom Brady.
if Brady's
It's the
gonna-
situation.
If Brady's
Yeah.
gonna call me to take New England or like Tampa Bay, okay, then I'll like okay, he's actually like being like this. This has some sentiment behind it.
But you have a fresh
This has
start.
some sentiment
But
behind
you have
it.
a fresh start. Think about it. Mark Davis is taking a back seat to the guy who actually knows how to play the game and knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I don't really.
I can see that.
I don't care about.
I'm
Tom,
just saying in Tom Brady's part.
No, but I'm saying I don't care about Tom Brady specifically. But you have a guy who's been given the keys to the franchise. He has the ability to hire the coach, the GM, and get the quarterback. You're telling me
All while doing radio. All while doing
okay,
television.
he's still
Okay,
doing
okay.
radio. I just
me
to
ask
me,
you this.
it's just like why does Tom Brady give a shit about the Raiders
No, but
except for
let
the
me
money
ask you
he's
this.
getting paid?
No, let
right
me
now?
ask you this then.
I'm
Let me
just
ask you
being
this.
for real.
Let me ask you this.
That's just where I'm at with it.
If Ben Johnson isn't going to go to the Raiders, name his best spot, and I'll tell you why it's not as good as the Raiders.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think a good spot would be Dallas.
Now let me tell you
I
why.
think a good spot
Now, let me
would
tell
be
you
Dallas
why.
for him, too, but he
Mark
wants his-
Davis. Now let me tell you why.
Yeah.
Mark Davis stepped down and is giving Tom Brady the power because he knows he can't hire. Jerry Jones is going to continue to tell you that he knows better than you, even though he doesn't.
Yeah, that's
Everybody in
the
the
biggest
world,
thing.
It's true.
Everyone in the world is telling you. Let me tell you, this, all the bad teams.
I mean, they're two bad owners.
No, but think about
It
it.
doesn't beat
All
the
the bad
fact.
teams that don't have coaches have practically bad owners.
And Davis, by the way, hires a GM. Jerry is the GM.
That is
so
true.
Jerry's not going anywhere.
It's valid.
At least the Raiders could get someone good.
And think about it.
Yeah.
All the bad teams have bad owners.
Yep.
The Jets have bad owners. The Jet has the I know the New England game, the New England one was taken, but the Jets has a bad owner.
Also, New England had one bad year.
Yeah, and then
I think he should have went to New England though. Ben Johnson. I would.
Well,
it was always going to be
Vrabel
It was always
said
going to be.
so.
No,
but
it wasn't.
you had the
gonna be
Giants, the Jets, the Saints, the Jaguars.
Yep.
They all have bad owners. If you
owners.
have an owner who's giving ownership to somebody who played at the highest level and is making business decisions, and you have a fresh start, think about it. You can choose your quarterback and your GM. It's all there at the same time.
That is true.
You go to the Bears, you're gonna have to deal with ownership and
No,
polls.
that's
There
true.
is one really.
That's true. I'm not arguing that it's a bad spot. I think it's a great fucking spot for him to go. I'm just saying. I'm saying in the aspect of Tom Brady contacting Ben Johnson in those reports,
I don't care
I
about.
just don't give a shit.
No, I don't care about Tom Brady.
There is one bad part about the Raiders' job.
What's that?
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
the one bad part.
That's also.
But
like,
are you getting better if you go to the Bears? The Bears are by far the worst team in the
No.
NFC North.
If
By
you go
far.
to the Jets, are you getting better? No.
I mean,
if you go to the
no.
Saints, you're getting better.
He wouldn't even interview with the Jets, by the way, so that's not happening.
Name a better position.
The Saints are the one,
I mean,
but they
I'm
don't
gonna-
have a quarterback.
I mean,
The most frustrating
I'm
thing-
gonna keep it real. If you're going to Dallas, you're gonna get better.
The most frustrating.
Let's be real.
No,
Yeah.
the most frustrating thing as a head coach trying to get a job as a first time is not having uniform thought. When you have the owner who thinks one thing, the GM thinks one thing,
Yep.
and then you have other people in the front office who think one thing, there's not one thought. And then what happens? You get Kyle Shanahan who wants Mac Jones, or they want Trey Lance. Now both of them turn out to be dog shit, but you end up having two different ideas of who you want, and then there's turmoil within the entire. If you're saying, "Hey, I'm Ben Johnson and I want Shadur Sanders," if you're Tom Brady and you say, "I want Shadur Sanders," great, we're done.
Yeah, go
if
get
you're
him.
a GM, if you're Ben Johnson, you say, "Hey, I want this GM," and Tom Brady, and you have a conversation, you're like, "We can settle on this." Then there's uniform thought, and there's one path to go, and you can move in that way. Ben Johnson doesn't want to go to the Bears because Poles doesn't know what he's doing. The ownership doesn't know what he's doing.
No. They don't
So
know.
I would take the Raiders. I care less about Tom Brady, but the fact that everything is lined up for my choice too, and I'm the best coach out there.
Yeah,
I'm
I
taking
also
that job.
think,
That's not
like,
my-
as much as Patrick Mahomes is such a deterrent,
I mean, that's two
the
games.
Raiders.
That's the thing.
It's like
the
games a
Raiders.
year.
The Raiders have a great
But it's
situation.
also-
And you
It's
can
like-
handle. We just
you
talked
got-
about Herbert. You can handle
This
the
is like
Chargers.
inevitable.
You can handle the Broncos.
If Jaden Daniels wasn't an offensive rookie of the year, it would either be Brock Bowers or Malik Neighbors. Brock
about it.
Bowers set the franchise tight end record. In
Think about it.
rookie.
Brock Bowers
No,
to
that is
Shadur
true.
as a
I
head
think he
coach.
should be rookie of the year, actually.
Okay.
They
by
might
the way.
get. They might
Think
get
about
Devontae back.
Think about it.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I think Brock Bowers should be rookie of the
Think
year.
about an offensive coach
Yeah,
with
Bowers.
Shadur and Brock Bowers. I'm licking my chops at that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels is a great, but
He did turn that down, but that was like Washington just came off the Dan Snyder, and it
Yeah.
was like we don't know if he's going to be great.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone thought Caleb was going to be better, and
Also,
then it turned
like,
out
he
Jaden
got his
Daniels.
pick of the litter. Like, the Raiders are gonna get the second quarterback in the draft unless Cleveland makes a decision to go that way, which I don't think they will. Because
I don't know.
they
Deshaun
might,
Watson just
but I
ruptured
also-
his Achilles.
I also
and
wanna
it's
be-
like he's
I wanna-
probably not playing.
But then what are you gonna do if you're the Browns? Like, when Watson comes back and is owed $100 million more dollars? Like, I guess this is the last year he's guaranteed.
What are you drafting?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I feel like they're going to draft. I think they're going to trade down.
Jameis was talking about playing in the snow and
I think they're going to
But
draft down.
Jameis isn't on contract. He's gone.
yeah.
They're going to
And then
trade
you want-
back.
what do you want?
They're going to trade back for more capital because they
DTR?
need better stuff. No.
No.
Who they had Bailey
What else
Zappi
are
in
you
the
gonna
last
do?
game? They had Bailey
Yeah, they had
Zappi.
Zappy in the last game. Like, what else are you gonna do?
I think
You're
they're-
gonna sign somebody.
I-
No one's going to
They're
Cleveland.
gonna be asked for Arch. Ask for Arch.
I could see that. Hold out for Arch.
The last two, I think these are the least desirable jobs in the Giants and the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence just hasn't been great. There's a shot, but like, come on.
I think that's the one Joe Brady's going to get. Is
That's
the
Joe.
Jags.
I think Joe Brady to the Jaguars, and I don't even want to talk about the Giants honestly because I don't even know what they're gonna do. Or actually,
They're gonna
why?
keep- they're
Wait,
gonna
they
keep
have
Dable.
Dable.
Yeah, they're gonna keep
Why did
Dable.
I put the Giants?
Yeah,
I
Dable-
apologize, guys. I don't know
Dable
why.
was- yeah.
Well, that's a whole nother thing, and I said that makes no sense why they kept him.
Yeah.
No sense at all because
I think
they're
they
just gonna
felt-
get worse.
No, it was the guilt. They felt like they stuck him with Daniel Jones and was like, "We can't fire you because it was
Yeah.
our fault. We gave you a bad quarterback."
That's true.
It's just whatever.
valid.
It is what it is, and
If
we'll
Shadur
see how the
goes
coaching
to New
cycle.
York, then they're going to give him a real shot.
Yeah.
If
He goes
he's
to New York.
ass with Shadur, then he's out of there for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that and stuff. They might be in the same exact position next year, and they're gonna fire Dable because they're not beating the Eagles, Commanders, or Cowboys. I'll tell you that right now.
No.
But yeah, that's NFL.
Do we want? It's like 3. Do we want to go NBA or?
No.
we
save it.
could skip it. The one thing I'll mention for these two is that the Pistons beat the Knicks at MSG, which was cool.
Detroit.
Cade's nasty.
Cade's nasty.
Cade's
But,
nasty.
like,
All-star, 100%.
We'll talk more about that next
mean,
week. Like,
Facts.
yeah, I
He's
felt like
disgusting.
we just got some good
More
NFL
NBA next
discourse.
We had
week.
like, what do you
We
have,
did mostly
29 in the
football.
second half? What was it, 29?
Yeah,
29
something like that.
after 4 fouls in the first.
We'll get
It's
into that,
nasty
but
work,
Yeah.
dude.
yeah, but let's wrap this up
Different
here.
animal.
Let's you got the intro. Let's
Yeah,
hear
I was saying
let's hear the ending. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't nothing else but grit, pride,
Like and subscribe.
and a whole like and subscribe.
That's our
comment.
motto: grit, pride,
Make
like,
sure
and
you
subscribe.
I like that.
Like and subscribe. Like if you haven't, what are you doing?
I like that.
Facts.
I like
It's facts. We like. Come on, we're
Yeah.
talking ball.
Tune in for
We're
next week.
tweaking out.
Yeah, thank you everyone for listening. We'll be
That's all
back
it
next
is.
week. And we'll be talking championship games. We'll be talking Natty, and we'll be talking some ball, everyone. So thank you
Absolutely.
so much, and we'll end like that.
Oh, yeah.
All right.